Good morning, it's Sam Acker Lymphoma Lass with you again, and today I'm going to be showing you how I make jewellery using recycled materials. This time it's going to be with using sweetie papers, chocolate papers from our Christmas, and the plastic from actually what is a milk carton. Sorry, that's not very much in focus. So I'm just going to clear the board to show you how it's done. First of all, I'm going to prepare the materials I'm going to make my jewellery from. These are papers from some chocolates, very like Quality Street, but from Marks and Spencer's, that were given us for Christmas by a friend. They're plasticky and metallic, so I was attracted to seeing what I could do with them. I'm also using some plastic from a milk carton. I first tried melting these with an iron using parchment, baking parchment, and putting the piece between the two folded halves of the baking parchment and iron. But before I did that, I washed them thoroughly in washing up liquid and cold water and rinsed them. What I'm relying on to make these earrings is the fact that heat changes this material. So that's why I washed them in cold water. Heat also changes this plastic from a milk carton. So again, I washed it very carefully in washing up liquid before starting and dried it, just as I did with the sweetie papers. That's quite important for the effect I want, because if you have any sugar in either that, say sugars from the milk or sugars from the sweets and chocolate in this, you will get black spots on your work. So once they're dry, what I want to do is cut a piece of this plastic, preferably without too many ridges in it or bends in it, so the piece needs to be flat from this plastic. I'm going to avoid this bit that's printed with the sell by date or use by date as well. And I just need it, I know from having tried this before, to be the size of the sweetie paper, because neither shrinks when heat is applied. So I'm just using my kitchen scissors to do that. So let me clear away a little bit. So as I iron this, I'm going to do it in the order of first ironing each piece of sweetie wrapper between the two parts of a folded piece of baking parchment, letting it cool slightly, peeling it off, doing the other piece the same, and then laying them either side of the milk bottle plastic in the paper and fusing them together with just a domestic iron. So I'm going to move to my ironing board to show you that. I'm at my ironing board now, and I can't stress enough how important it is to have this and other plastics fully encased in the baking paper, otherwise it will stick to your iron, which means that if you do that, it means making relatively cheap jewellery suddenly becomes rather expensive. So I've got no steam setting, and I'm just going to, I've got my iron on fairly hot, I've actually got it on linen heat, and I've just let it go over the paper. I'm going to let it cool a tiny bit, because otherwise it pulls away when you open it. So as you can see, it takes very little to melt the shiny paper and create a different texture. Now be aware of the fact this is very hot. If you're doing this with children, test for yourself that it's cool enough to peel off the paper. As you can see, I'm trying to be gentle doing this, because what's being produced is very delicate, very lace-like. It's a bit like a lacy version, a kind of aged version of some of the metallic foils you can buy as an artist. So I'm going to do the second one. And then again, if I try and lift it too early, it sticks. So actually this one I've been quite lucky with, it's ready quite quickly. Still warm. Say I'd be careful with children, making sure they're not impatient and lifting it when it's too hot. Even if they're of an age to maybe use an iron. And there I've got my second piece. It's absolutely lovely. I'm not worried about the holes in it, the gaps in it, because that's just going to add texture to my jewellery and character. If I wanted to, either before or after, I could colour the piece of white opaque milk bottle plastic with a Sharpie pen, which is an alcohol ink in it, either the same colour or contrasting or complementing colour to give a different effect. But I'm leaving these with white. And then I'm just ironing again, and that fuses the two pieces of foil to the milk bottle, milk carton plastic. So I'm going to move back to my workbench. As my plastic cools, it's twinkling. I'm not too worried about that myself. I can now open it. I think it's cool enough. It's still hot, but it's cool enough. And I have made myself this rather attractive material, which is sturdy enough for me to cut into shapes. That is the next job. For this, I'm using petit four cutters, i.e. sweetie cutters, that a baker would use. But I have to hasten to add, I only use this set for crafting. I don't use it for baking, for the simple reason that I wouldn't be confident I could get them thoroughly clean, removing all the paint and pen mark on them, which I don't want to then poison somebody with. So what we do then is we cut out the material with the cookie cutter, first having made a pattern round it. I'm using a metallic pen to mark it, because I find that in altering light, as you move the piece around in the light, you can see pen marks without them being too strong. Now I've found that I can get all three sizes of shapes in my petit four cutters from one piece of this, which is great because that means I can make three pieces of jewellery. Use all three shapes to make sizes of shape in a set, to make 3 pieces of jewellery. So like a mini batch. So for 3 earrings I would use 3 pieces of this material. I find the easiest to do are the teardrops, but just for a difference I'm doing a hexagon. I'm just checking that the other side is also covered with the sweet paper. So I'm just going to get on with this and come back to you in a minute. So now I've drawn, I don't know if you can see it, I think you can just see. I've drawn the full complement of hexagons from my petit four set onto this, and my next task is to cut them out. So all I'm going to use is a pair of embroidery scissors, fairly sharp. Yeah, I might be blunting my embroidery scissors, but I'm sure I can sharpen them again. And embroidery scissors is what I use for all this kind of thing, because they're sharp and I can use them for detailed cutting. I'm just going to cut out one to show you just how incredibly easy it is to cut this material. And then I'll do the rest off screen, so it's not like watching paint dry. I'm tilting the material so I can see the line. And all the little bits I'm going to save. So that's my first one. Don't think it looks too bad. Be back in a mo. So now I've cut them all out, and I'm just going to get something to store the offcuts in, because I think I'd like to use them in the future. So I'm going to store my offcuts in this envelope, which already has similar things in it, to keep them nice and safe. I could use them in resin work, or to make more shapes for jewellery, anything really. And the next task for these is going to need something called an awl, AWL, and a board, so that I don't spoil my work surface. I would use an old board, not a pristine, beautiful new kitchen board. I'm using an old vegetable board. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to use jump rings and earring hoops and these other pieces, with these other pieces I've actually put a little hole in there, and that's what I'm going to do with these blue pieces. So I'm going to make some hexagon jewellery, which is pink, purple and turquoise blue. So first I want to check I've got them in the positions that work best, with the side that works best as the front of the earring uppermost. As I say, the teardrops are easier than these, because these, you have to be so correct with where you cut to get them into nice hexagons. I'm not sure I've managed that, but they're there or thereabouts. So there's a saying about earrings that they are sisters, not twins. So that's fine. What I've found is if you do try and improve hexagons by hand trimming them, it all goes horribly wrong. So for these, like my teardrops, I'm going to attach three shapes of the three sizes together, but in different colours. So I'm just going to show you how I make one hole, so you've got an idea of it. So first, I hold the piece quite carefully, and I place the sharp tip of my awl where I want the hole, and I push down. Then I lift the piece up and gently push the awl through, and that'll be enough, that bit there, to get my rings through, because I'm going to use these types of rings. So I'm going to do the others and then come back to you. Now that I've put the holes in the earring pieces, we're on the home straight. I've got this piece I'm going to make up, these two I'm going to make up, and these as well that I'm going to make up. So I'm just going to show you how I make up one of these, and then take a break before I show you the whole. So I've designed these in a particular way that they're going to dangle all together, so that they don't, they're not as long as they might be. If you wanted them to be longer, rather than having them dangle all together, you could do a jump ring between each one there and there, and make really long earrings. But I'm wanting to make slightly shorter earrings from that. So the first thing for me to do is find where the jump ring joins and just gently open it a tiny bit. Now, how I find is this is the right side up. So I'm going to put that one on first, then the middle one on, right side, then the largest one, right side. So I've got all the right sides together. And then I'm going to add this tiny one and put that at the front. And then I need to just close this jump ring a bit, being careful not to scratch it too much in the process. I think that'll do. So there, they are now joined. And then I'm going to add the earring back. Now why I've added two jump rings, one through the plastics I've made and another at the top, is because the earring will sit, the actual finding for the earring will sit like that, so otherwise these would turn round, the plastic pieces would turn round, because I want to be seen front end on as they dangle from the ear. So then that's the front side of my earring, and then I'm going to move it so that's the front of my hook, and then I'm going to scoop up that loop, and then I just have to close that loop at the back of the earring. I'm just going to quietly, off screen, do the others so you can see them all made. Now as you can see, I've finished my scissors, my awl, my jewellery pliers. They're just cheap little jewellery pliers from Amazon, and I've created my earrings. I think they're quite nice. They've got a bit of a shimmer to them. They've changed in texture from the plastic sweetie papers that I used with the milk bottle carton plastic as a support for them. So you can see I've made these quite swiftly. Obviously you need an iron and heat, so you need to be careful of children and your own fingers, but it's quite a nice little project in recycling. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm wishing you all the very best for the new year, and if you're interested in seeing more, please sign up to my YouTube channel to see more. I've got loads more videos like this there, and some on my life as an artist. And if you'd like to know more about me, in the comments there will be a link to my newsletter. And each month, if somebody joins my newsletter, one person from the new subscribers that month will win something. And I think I might include the option of one of these pairs of earrings. I usually give people an option. I also do a giveaway for people who share my posts on social media, although some of the social media platforms you can't actually explain that on. So similarly, the winner of that each month gets something like this, or a choice of various bits of fun costume jewellery to choose from. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good year, and wishing you all the very best. Bye for now.